Trae Young, in my opinion, if we count Luka as a point guard prospect, then disregard what I'm saying, but I don't really know what to count Luka as. Is he a point guard, shooting guard, small forward? But that's not important. It's about Trae Young. Trae Young, in my opinion, and probably the opinion of a lot of people, is the best young point guard in the NBA. So far this season, as of the recording of this video, he's averaging 28.8 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, shooting 45.5% from the field, shooting 37% from 3, and 84.5% from the line. And he's a really good player. He's really fun to watch. I've seen him play the Celtics a few times, and he's really good. And I have a problem, though. And it's the comparison between him and Steph Curry. We all know Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, the first unanimous MVP in NBA history, 6-time All-Star, a scoring champ, 3-time champion. And most of us know Trae Young, like I said, the best young point guard in basketball. But I don't like this comparison because I don't really see Steph Curry when I watch Trae Young. And the thing is, for me, that I don't know what I see when I watch Trae Young. Because here's the thing. The one thing that connects these two players is their ability to hit the long range shot. Now, I compare it to athleticism. And to give an example what I mean, listen, Ja Morant, just because he's athletic and has a bunch of poster dunks, doesn't mean he's the next Russell Westbrook. And I compare this to Trae Young in the sense of Trae Young's ability to hit long range shots and being light skinned doesn't mean he's the next Steph Curry. He's just Trae Young. Like, listen, I understand that they can both hit 3-pointers, but Trae Young doesn't have, right now at least, because he is young, he's only like 21 years old, doesn't shoot with efficiency from 3 the way Steph Curry has his entire career. Because what makes Steph the greatest shooter of all time isn't the fact that he hits a lot of them, or the fact that, he shoots off the dribble. It's the fact that he does all of that and is super efficient as a 3-point shooter. Because of this, Trae Young's regular field goal percentage so far in his career is actually really close to Steph Curry's career 3-point shooting percentage. Now, again, no knock on Trae, he's a good young player, but what does it mean? Well, it means Trae Young isn't necessarily the efficient scorer that Steph Curry is. And efficiency, in my opinion, is one of the 3 biggest parts of his game. I think about his shooting ability, which is obviously number 1 by a long shot. I think about his ability as a playmaker, as far as, ball handling, playing well within the system, on-off ball, things like that. And I think about his efficiency. Those are what make Steph Curry a great player. When I look at Trae Young, I think about his ability to score off the dribble, the same way I kind of view Steph actually. I think about his ability as a passer and a playmaker, on-off ball, same thing, but more emphasis on the passing game and how they run him through that system. And I think about, him being able to, be an effective player at that size, but not like Steph Curry. Because the thing is, listen, I think people respect Trae Young as a shooter, but, Steph Curry's fear as a shooter, well, not his fear, but the fear people have of him as a shooter the moment he walks across half court, I just don't see it in Trae Young. And, part of me also thinks that when I watch him play at least, Trae Young finds other ways to score. Now, Steph Curry does as well, but I don't see people kind of like cowering the 3-point line the same way they do with Steph Curry. Also, I see a lot more plays with Trae Young where he's the ball handler than I do with Steph Curry. And that's weird to say because Steph Curry's a great ball handler and a point guard. But, Trae Young doesn't run as many off-ball plays. They do run off-ball plays as far as I see when I watch him. But at the same time, Steph Curry, one of his great things is he does play well off-ball. So, again, there is that. Also, Trae Young at this point in his career is better than Steph Curry was at drawing fouls at any point in his career. So there are some differences when I watch him play. Now, again, does this mean that one player is better than the other at this point in their career? I don't know. Probably. Trae Young is probably better at the age of 21 than Steph Curry was at the age of 21. In fact, I'm looking it up. Trae Young is in his second year at 21. Steph Curry was a rookie. Trae Young's putting up better numbers, and there is that. Doesn't mean he'll be a better player because Steph Curry is a generational talent, and Trae Young very well could be a generational talent. I think Trae Young could lead the league in points and assists in the same season if he wanted to, and if it was required of him to. He could be a 30-11 guy in this league. Look at what he's doing now. And, but that's not what Steph Curry is. Steph Curry is known for being an integral weapon, sort of like a Swiss Army knife, where you can run him off ball, run him on ball, have him be the main ball handler, have him be a secondary ball handler. But, Trae Young, I see some of those things, but I don't think it's enough for me to warrant the Steph Curry comparison. In all honesty, he kind of reminds me a bit more of like a Lou Williams, like Chris Paul hybrid. Now, do I think he's a better playmaker than Chris Paul at this point? No, I don't. Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards of all time, but I think he can be an elite playmaker, which he kind of already is, and he can be a scorer like Lou Williams is. And if you think that's a joke, Lou Williams, honestly, if you played him 36 minutes a night, he would be like a 25 to 30 point scorer, in my opinion at least. But that's just me. So what am I rambling on about? Well, my point is this. He's not Steph Curry. He's his own player. And I know it's hypocritical of me to say that when I just said that he's a combination of Lou Williams and Chris Paul, which is a weird combination now that I think about it. Ignore that weird combination. But it's just that, let him be him. Let Steph Curry be Steph Curry, let Trae Young be Trae Young. And really the only thing I see that can definitively say that they're similar is the long-range shooting ability. But when I look at their skill sets and how they kind of play and how they play within a system, I don't see the comparison as much. But again, I don't know that much, honestly. I'm not the biggest X's and O's guy, but this is just what I see. And this is what this channel was made for. So I can express my opinions and maybe give deeper investigation and perspective, well, my perspective at least. So that's why I made this, because my perspective is that Trae Young is kind of his own player who does his things that are different from Steph Curry. The only thing I really see when I watch both of them side by side very similar is the ability to shoot the long ball. And, again, they kind of have different play styles. Trae Young is a bit more ball dominant of a player than Steph Curry. Trae Young, in my opinion, has shown better ability as a passer than Steph Curry has. And, there are just differences in their game that, we shouldn't be touting him as the next Steph Curry just because he's small and light-skinned and can shoot three-pointers. Again, I'll compare it to John Morant. John Morant's almost a completely different player than Russell Westbrook, even though, they are explosive and have these big-time dunks that can get 10 assists. But, again, if you enjoyed this ramble, please feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment how I don't know about basketball, because honestly, I'm not the smartest person when it comes to the sport. I just like to express my opinions. And yeah, follow my social medias, link to those in the description as always. Subscribe if you're new. Make sure you hit the notification button if you subscribed already. Thank you, I love you, and have a nice night.